Le rêve de devenir quelqu'un d'important, le rêve de suivre qui a toujours été le football.
If there is one African footballer whose life reads like a movie script, from dusty streets to diamond-studded boardrooms, it is Samuel Eto'o Fils. Born into poverty in Cameroon, feared by defenders across Europe, paid like a king in Russia, and now ruling African football politics. This is not just about goals. This is about power, wealth, legacy, and control. Today, we take you inside the real life of Samuel Eto'o, his net worth, his luxury mansions, his million-dollar car collection, and how he really lives now, years after football retirement. But first, to understand the man, we must return to where it all began. Hit like and subscribe as we dive in. Eto'o's story does not begin with velvet seats and private chandeliers. It begins in Douala, where Samuel Eto'o Fils was born 10th of March 1981 in a household where ambition outweighed resources, and a boy learned early that talent without hunger is just potential. He grew up in Nkon, near Yaoundé, one of the city's more challenged districts. And like so many African football prodigies, his first pitches were dusty lots, his first crowd a chorus of street sounds, his first currency the thrill of scoring when everything else felt uncertain. A precocious talent, he was recruited by Real Madrid at just 16, a move that sounds like fantasy, but felt, for a young Cameroonian kid, like stepping onto another planet. Madrid was a palace of talent. Etoo was a visitor trying to become a resident. Due to competition in his position with more experienced players, he had several loan spells, before signing for Mallorca in 2000, where he scored 70 goals, a club record. Barcelona in 2004 was a dynasty in the making, an orchestra waiting for a conductor. Etoo arrived as a striker but played like a metronome, setting rhythm, dictating tempo, demanding excellence. Across 5 seasons, he scored 130 goals, won 3 La Liga titles, and lifted 2 UEFA Champions League trophies, scoring in 2 finals, an achievement that cements him among the greats. He captured African Player of the Year a record 4 times, more than a trophy room. It was a continent's affirmation. From a wealth perspective, this era changed everything. Barcelona salaries and bonuses, Champions League payouts and endorsement deals, Puma, Orange, later MTN, and other commercial tie-ins pushed Etoo into the global elite. This wasn't just fame. It was liquidity, it was assets, it was negotiation power. But football is migration. Success travels. And in 2009, success changed its address. The transfer to Inter Milan was seismic, a tactical fit under Jose Mourinho, and an emotional shift into Italy's intensely scrutinized football theater. The result? History. Eto'o became the first player in football history to win 2 European trebles back-to-back, with Barcelona and then Inter. Serie A, Coppa Italia, Champions League. It was a clean sweep, the kind that rewrites careers and polishes reputations into myth. And yet, even that wasn't the financial peak. The most lucrative chapter of his football life was still ahead. In 2011, Eto'o moved to Anzhi Makachkala in Russia on a deal that blew up salary charts and created headlines worldwide. Reportedly earning over $20 million per year, he became, at that point, the highest-paid footballer on earth. For some, it was a surprise. For those who track wealth, it was strategy, a prime year's cash maximization, generational money, on terms most players never see. If Barcelona and Inter made him globally respected, Anzhi made him financially untouchable. The late career tour felt like a farewell symphony. Chelsea, Everton, Sampdoria, Antalyaspor, Konyaspor, Qatar SC, a string of moves that offered a mix of competitive minutes, premium wages, and global branding opportunities. He officially retired in 2019, with a goal tally that belongs on the same shelf as the greatest forwards. and a wealth base that set the stage for a second act most ex-players only dream about. But the second act wasn't punditry or coaching. It was politics. Football politics, the most intricate kind. Let's put numbers on legacy. Multiple reputable sources place Samuel Eto'o's net worth at approximately $95 to $110 million, a figure consistently reported by reputable sources. Etoo built his fortune brick by brick and then secured it with strategy. But here's the part most people get wrong. Samuel Eto'o did not make his money from football alone. Football was the foundation. Power, endorsements, investments, and influence built the empire. Let's break it all down. Samuel Eto'o's largest earnings came directly from his playing career, and at his peak, he was the highest-paid footballer in the world. During his early years at Mallorca and Barcelona, Eto'o earned steadily, million-dollar salaries supported by bonuses and UEFA prize money. His biggest financial jump came after joining Barcelona in 2004 for €24 million, where Champions League success significantly boosted his income. At Inter Milan, Eto'o earned one of the highest Serie A salaries at the time, benefiting from domestic titles and performance bonuses tied to historic achievements, such as the 2010 treble. The defining moment came in 2011, when Eto'o signed with Anzhi Makhachkala in Russia. Annual salary reported at $20 to $25 million made him the highest-paid footballer globally at the time. This short spell alone generated tens of millions of dollars, instantly transforming Eto'o from rich to financially secure for life. At the height of his career, Samuel Eto'o earned millions annually from endorsements, without touching a football. Major brand partnerships. Eto'o signed endorsement deals with Puma, football boots and apparel, Nike, early career campaigns, Orange Telecom, MTN Cameroon, Brussels Airlines. At his peak, endorsements brought in an estimated $3 to $5 million per year, especially during his Barcelona and Inter Milan years. However, Eto'o's most publicized endorsement controversy came later with 1xBET, which resulted in a CAF fine, but still confirms his market power as a brand draw. An often ignored income stream. Trophies pay cash. Samuel Eto'o earned Champions League win bonuses, domestic league bonuses, Spain and Italy, performance incentives, goals, appearances, and sponsorship bonuses tied to tournament success. Winning the 2006 and 2009 Champions League finals, combined with league titles and continental success, added millions to his total career earnings. For elite players like Etoo, success wasn't just glory, it was contractual cash flow. Samuel Eto'o is a quiet real estate investor. He owns luxury properties in Cameroon, Yaoundé, and Douala, Barcelona, and Milan. Over time, real estate has allowed Eto'o to protect and multiply his football earnings, insulating him from post-retirement financial collapse, something many former players suffer from. Beyond property, Eto'o has invested in hospitality ventures, sports-related businesses, football academies in Cameroon, early-stage tech and commercial ventures. Unlike flashy investors, Etoo prefers low-visibility business ownership, focusing on control rather than headlines. This approach explains why his wealth remains stable years after retirement. Wealth, for Etoo, is more than a number, it's a structure. Samuel Eto'o doesn't just own houses, he owns strongholds. From heavily secured mansions in Cameroon to elite European residences built during his football glory days, every home Etoo owns tells a story of money, power, and strategy. These are not flashy influencer homes. These are homes built for privacy, control, and legacy. Samuel Eto'o's most symbolic home is his luxury mansion in Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. This is not just a residence, it is widely believed to be his main base as president of Fecafoot. Located in a high-end, government-secured neighborhood, large fenced compound with heavy security, modern European-African architectural blend, guest quarters, lounges, office space, and recreational facilities. This mansion regularly hosts football executives, government officials, and CAF delegates. It has an estimated value of $2 million to $3.5 million. Douala, Samuel Eto'o's birthplace, holds deep emotional value, and he invested accordingly. His Douala residence is believed to be a seaside or high-value urban mansion, frequently mentioned in Cameroonian luxury lifestyle reports. This mansion features a spacious compound, contemporary luxury design, high privacy walls, and security. This fortress is estimated at $1.5 million to $2.5 million. Next is his Barcelona luxury property. This house represents career nostalgia and smart timing. Samuel Eto'o purchased or maintained a high-end residence in Spain, dating back to his legendary FC Barcelona years. Located in or around Barcelona with Mediterranean-style luxury, balcony terraces, gated access, and high-class residential district. Priced at $3 million to $5 million. Barcelona luxury homes skyrocketed in value after the mid-2000s, making this property a smart, long-term investment. When Eto'o joined Inter Milan, he didn't rent like a tourist. He invested like a resident. He owns a home in a premium neighborhood, contemporary Italian luxury designed for understated elegance. This home reflects Eto'o's personality at the time: focused, powerful, calm. The estimated value is $2 million to $3 million. Unlike flashy celebrities, Samuel Eto'o prefers low-visibility assets. Lifestyle reports suggest he owns at least one private retreat-style property, possibly in southern Europe or a discreet African location. Details remain intentionally scarce. While other stars chase luxury for attention, Eto'o builds luxury for control. And that is what separates wealth from power. Car collection. You can measure a man's taste by his cars. Eto'o's taste measures in 0 to 60 and hand-stitched leather. His garage tells the story of a man who didn't just win at the highest level, but lived at the highest level. The moment you mention Samuel Eto'o's car collection, one name rises above the rest: Bugatti Veyron. With a price tag of $1.9 million, the Veyron instantly placed Etoo among football's financial elite. Powered by a quad-turbo W16 engine producing over 1,000 horsepower, this car was once the fastest production vehicle on Earth. Etoo owned it at a time when very few footballers could afford one, let alone maintain it. This was not a car for transport, it was a statement. Samuel Eto'o had arrived at the very top. If the Bugatti is about raw dominance, the Aston Martin 177 is about exclusivity. Only 77 units were ever produced worldwide, and Etoo managed to own one, an automotive privilege reserved exclusively for ultra-elite collectors. With an estimated value of $1.6 million, the 177 reflects Etoo's refined taste. It is hand-built, naturally aspirated, and brutally elegant, much like his style on the pitch during his prime. As Eto'o transitioned from football superstar into football authority, his taste evolved from speed to presence. Enter the Rolls-Royce Wraith, valued at approximately $370,000. This is a car built for a man who commands attention without noise. With a V12 engine hidden beneath unmatched craftsmanship, the Wraith offers intimidation through silence. This is the car of a president, not a striker. Luxury for Samuel Eto'o doesn't stop at Rolls-Royce. The Maybach 57, worth roughly $480,000, represents extreme comfort and executive power. This car is designed to be chauffeured, not driven. It reflects Eto'o's shift into leadership and governance, where privacy, protection, and calm matter more than acceleration. Few footballers ever owned a Maybach. And then there's its larger, more commanding sibling, the Maybach 62. With a value of $620,000, this car offers limousine-level luxury and unmatched road presence. It is often associated with monarchs, presidents, and billionaires. During his Inter Milan years, Eto'o's taste leaned toward aggression. The Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, tuned by Mansouri, cost him around $520,000. This car was loud, fast, and unapologetic, mirroring Eto'o's energy during his Serie A dominance. This wasn't a luxury purchase. This was a declaration of confidence. At the height of his fame, Eto'o also owned the dramatic Mercedes-Benz SLS-AMG. Priced at roughly $230,000, the SLS was famous for its gull-wing doors and raw V8 power. It was flashy, it was bold, and it perfectly fit the era when Eto'o was at the center of global attention. Not every car in Eto'o's garage was about spectacle. The AMG S63, valued at $170,000, represents refined daily luxury, with performance under the hood. Smooth, muscular, and understated. This is the kind of car a man drives when he no longer has anything to prove. When you add it all up, Samuel Eto'o's confirmed luxury garage comes to an estimated total of $6,010,000. Samuel Eto'o once used pace to terrorize defenders. Today, his cars don't race the world. They reflect control over it. From a $1.9 million Bugatti to a $620,000 Maybach, his collection isn't excess. Put simply, the collection is museum grade. But note the evolution. The loudest cars often belong to the quietest garage. In recent years, he displays them less, not because they've lost value, but because Eto'o's life has shifted from display to governance. The power lifestyle. President Etoo. In December 2021, Etoo became president of Fecafoot. This wasn't ceremonial. This was a takeover of administrative power in Cameroonian football. In November-December 2025, he was re-elected unopposed, a landslide that extended his mandate to 2029. The vote, held at the CAF Center of Excellence in Mbankomo, gave him 85 of 87 ballots. A stunning 97.7% approval rate documented by Africa News, Cameroon Online, Africa Soccer, and Foot Africa. For supporters, it was stability. For critics, consolidation. For Etoo, it was confirmation. The second act is political. He also gained a seat on the CAF Executive Committee, increasing his continental leverage. His public routine now resembles that of a minister. Meetings, negotiations, diplomacy, and periodic storms. Because football governance in Africa is nothing if not turbulent. Yes, controversy shadows him. Yes, he draws scrutiny, particularly around Fecafoot leadership disputes, AFCON squad dramas, and battles with national coaching structures. But the smoother truth beneath the headlines is this: Eto'o lives like a strategist now. Security, tight. Travel, discreet, scheduled around fixtures, congresses, and negotiations. Publicity, measured, used as instrument, not entertainment. He is not performing for cameras. He is conducting personal life. He has two brothers who are also footballers, David and Etienne. Eto'o has 4 children, Maël, Etienne, Sienna, and Lynn. He married his longtime sweetheart Georgette on the 6th of July 2007. Georgette is the mother of Sienna and Lynn, who both live with her in Paris. On 17 October 2007, he earned his Spanish passport. On 9 November 2020, Eto'o was involved in a car accident when his 4x4 had a head-on collision with a bus. It was said that Eto'o was unhurt from the accident. The driver of the bus tried to escape the scene before being apprehended and taken to a police station. Eto'o was crowned Paramount Chief in Kafu Bulom, a chiefdom in Sierra Leone, in November 2015. He was visiting Sierra Leone as part of the FIFA 11 for Health and 11 Against Ebola program in the country. Eto'o experienced racial abuse in some away matches during his career. He is one of several high-profile contemporary players to have reacted to the abuse by threatening to leave the pitch and being outspoken in criticism of their experiences. Philanthropy. Through the Samuel Eto'o Foundation, he's directed funds toward education, healthcare, and youth football across parts of Africa. Critics may argue about scope. Supporters see the symbolism, a continental icon investing back into the roots that made him. In the end, philanthropy is part of his brand architecture, visible compassion, married to tangible programs. And for a man who loves control, it offers the rare gift of public gratitude. Every crown is heavy. Leadership in African football is complicated. Layers of politics, layers of expectations, layers of historical tension. 2025 AFCON storylines turned Fecafoot into headline material. Disputes with coaching staff, squad selection noise, and protocol dramas that placed Eto'o in the center of conversation, sometimes supportive, sometimes critical. He was even briefly blocked at a stadium entrance due to accreditation enforcement, an incident quickly resolved, symbolic of the friction between rules and reputations in modern football governance. Through it all, his presence remains polarizing and potent. That's the cost. The benefit? He sets the agenda. These aren't just statistics. They are the architecture of a life. Wealth can buy silence. It cannot buy peace. Peace is earned through alignment between what you want, what you can control, and what you are willing to lose to keep both. When you watch Eto'o now, the high-octane swagger of Anzi contracts and Camp Nou celebrations has transformed into measured presence. He smiles less publicly. He speaks with caution. He walks like someone who knows rooms change when he enters, because in his world, they do. He isn't chasing headlines. He is editing them. If football politics is theater, Samuel Eto'o has taken a front-row seat and a director's pen. The next 4 years will test his ability to balance national expectations with continental responsibilities, to modernize domestic leagues, to protect the brand of Cameroonian football, and to win back universal trust where controversies have nibbled at the edges. From a lifestyle lens, anticipate even greater discretion. Fewer flashes of personal luxury, more signs of institutional building, academies, training facilities, youth structures, and possibly continental initiatives that carry his signature. His mansions will remain guarded, his cars will remain polished, but the world will see him less in leather and chrome and more in charters and charters. Charters of reform, charters of funding, charters of intent. That brings us to the end of our run. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the luxury life of the football legends, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.